about even, so we're not trying to pressure them a ton. We're just trying to make it so that we can protect Chronos, he can farm, we can win team fights, not get picked off. Like, that's the way we're playing now. We're not trying to go through the jungle and pick them off. We're not, pushing lanes so that we can always keep the pressure on them. Like, a game that has equilibrium is fine for us, because that's a game that we should win in the long run, especially with great ultimates and Chronos. So anyway, our ward sees them running up to go get Chronos and Kraken. Unfortunately, the creep wave does see them, but still, they should easily be able to get out in time. But Kraken fails basically to buy a teleport stone in time, and because he has creep vision on him, he is going to get stunned and killed. It was really just his mistake. He just screwed up buying the homecoming stone. This is one time where hotkeys are extremely useful. Always be aware that the hotkey for the homecoming stone in the outpost is Q. It's a really important one to know. Yeah, so, I mean, that's pretty much all there is to it. That's kind of exactly what we don't want to happen, is getting picked off. Chronos was up there farming because he can. I mean, he can leap away and teleport out. That's what makes Chronos great at farming. Kraken can't do that quite to the same extent, even though he does have a semi-escape mechanism, but one that's also, like, the hardest to path around trees in the world. So it looks like they're going to try to use this opportunity to push top, so we're going to, make our way back up there. Even though it's 4 on 5, there's really no way they should be able to break a base tower against our ults, even 4 on 5, so this should be fine to defend. And it looks like they realize that because they're actually going to back off. So I have these wards that I want to get placed up in our jungle now, because as I said, we're trying to play defensive and let people farm, so defensive-ish wards are good, but I can't place them until I know they get out of our jungle. Fortunately, I see them all leaving now, and that ward that's still there will show me if they come back. So this does give me an opportunity to go ward the other entrance to our jungle, which is exactly what I'm going to do now. Just so that, yeah, our entire top is kind of defended with vision. We see them there and we have vision on them, so we're going to kind of go up here. And then something bad is about to happen, almost. Basically, yeah, I almost get hooked. So I knew we had vision, but I guess I just wasn't thinking about the fact that, yeah, obviously they can have a ward there too. So they definitely have a ward there too, because Devour just about hooked me, and I only got lucky that I was moving back and forth and avoided it. So, yeah, just always, I mean, it's easy to forget the opposing team. I mean, sometimes it's easy to remember that they have wards, like at the rune spawn and stuff like that. But other times it's not easy. It's easy to just completely forget that they could have wards basically anywhere you can, and they can see you even though they shouldn't be able to see you because you're up a hill. So anyway, as soon as I've established somewhere that they have wards, there's no reason not to counter ward as soon as I get the gold. I mean, you get gold for killing a ward, so this is just a great thing to do, and I mean, you're a support hero, so counter ward. So I know there's one there, so usually, now I still have this other sentry, so I'm probably just going to go guess a place that I think a ward might be. This is pretty usual for what I do. I mean, if I know there's 2 places they have wards, then I'm going to go do it. Otherwise, I'm just going to throw this up here, because this is going to possibly get any wards they have in those 2 spots. And I just saw that Devour came and grabbed a rune, so it's not completely unreasonable to think that they have a ward there showing the rune, because Devour just came and grabbed it, which might mean that he has a ward there or at the top one. So anyway, we're going to try to take Congo real quick. Obviously, just forcing Congo out of nowhere is not always the best plan, but we've seen that they have no ward there. They could have a ward on this hill directly to the left of Kongor, but that's why Chronos actually blinked in. I still would have gotten seen, so that's kind of loose on my part. We see Devour coming, but we know there's a rune there, so we can tell he's just coming to grab the rune, so we're just going to completely ignore him and finish Kongor. Hellborn advantage, basically. It's funny because a little bit ago I said I was saving up to get BKB, but then I've been buying support items since, but this just shows, I mean, you're still a support hero, so anytime that you can do these things, there's still no reason not to keep doing these things. So yeah, kind of a lull. I mean, obviously, the situation basically, as I said, is that, they have a hard time pushing into our ults, and at the same time, we don't really want to get picked off by them, so we're kind of, playing conservatively. And which is fine for us, because, as I said, that's how our team works. But we see them here now, and they definitely don't have a ward there, because we have a counter ward. So we do have favorable vision here. So there's no reason not to try to set up a team fight when we have good vision. So yeah, that's basically what we're going to do. Tempest goes in first, and yeah, we take out... so we're actually kind of separated here. Tempest is actually just kind of far ahead for no reason. I do actually throw out Cursed Ground correctly for once, and then Chronos throws out an ult. Once I don't throw out my ult into his ult just because it was unnecessary. There's one hero there, and I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to get the kill on him. So, I mean, my ult doesn't end up getting used, but that seems fine. I was going to actually tablet the Kraken there, but he moved to the other side of the hero intelligence anyway. So, yeah, basically everything worked out. Again, This is why they really have a very difficult time forcing anything on our half of the map, and why we've been able to farm effectively. And so basically they overplayed, and we turned it, which is exactly what we're going to do. So I know, I mean, I guess this kind of makes this a little bit of a boring game to watch in regards to the fact that, you know, our team is set up kind of to stall the game and then win eventually, and this is something that we've acknowledged and something they've kind of acknowledged, but it's kind of an unfortunate acknowledgement, because I guess at the point at which they haven't already won the game, and it's kind of even in the mid-game, they really have nowhere to go from there, because... Alright, well, let me point out something. Kronos should actually be attacking the creeps here instead of the tower, because he can kill the creeps so quickly because of his splash, or his splash damage, his cleave, that it would actually just be more effective to kill the creeps quickly and then have the damage that our creeps are doing on their tower, most of the time. And I think that's the case there as well. But yeah, so anyway... I mean, that's just kind of the situation here with the game. I mean, it's obviously not the most exciting thing ever, but not a whole lot you can do about it. I mean, there are, 64 kills in 42 minutes, so it hasn't been that bad. But it kind of is just a game where there's, fighting, and then there's lulls, and there's fighting, and then there's lulls. So I picked up another set of Senshi wards. I can't remember exactly why. Maybe I thought I saw a ward somewhere or something, or maybe I just wanted something to buy. I do have enough for my BKB now, so I'll finish that just as soon as I pull the creeps, but Kraken's going to do it anyway, so it's not a big deal. Yeah, you can see him finishing my BKB, which ends up being just about as used by me, I think, as my tablet command, unfortunately. Kronos kind of just getting, having fun now, I guess, picking off random heroes with his haste and his ult. So that's basically all there is to that. We're just kind of going back to farming, basically exactly what we do. We do have a pretty solid advantage now. Kronos is pretty farmed, so we should probably be able to force the issue pretty soon. But again, it's just like there's no reason to put ourselves in a bad situation when we don't have to, when they're really the ones, especially at this point, that have to. But we do have the token, and it still hasn't been used, so being able to push somewhere soon would probably be a pretty good plan. And this is kind of the point, now that we've kind of gained an advantage, where actually putting up offensive wards in the jungle wouldn't be the worst thing, because that would actually just kind of increase our farm by allowing us to farm their jungle as well. Like, Kraken can be down there farming, or Tempest can be someone who can get away, Kronos even. So we see the Soul Reaper playing up a little bit. I kind of assumed he was bait, but it looks like not really as much as I thought he would be. But yeah, so we kill him. Unfortunately, Fink just gets blown up by Pyro, but that will happen. So we're just going to push. We have the token. We have, pretty much all our ults. Kronos' ult isn't up, but it probably shouldn't be too long. It's not the longest cooldown ever. So yeah, we're going to have to force this. Kronos picking up a little side creep farm, which I don't necessarily agree with. I think he should probably just be pushing with us anyway, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. Heals on cooldown, or heals off cooldown, but there's really no one to heal, so I'm just kind of, hanging back, making sure that I don't get in a bad position, waiting for whatever they're going to have to do, because they're obviously going to have to do something. As soon as I see them start damaging one of our heroes, I'm going to throw up a heal immediately. Cursed Ground this time, for once. Cursed Ground is just so not good against Predator because of Stonehide, but whatever. It works. A professional Tempest ult there. I think Predator was actually already dead by the time he threw down the ultimate. But, whatever. You can see that our Kraken actually picked up the Ring of Sorcery, I think it's called in this. Arcane Ring. Since it's been buffed, maybe legitimate. Certainly it's nice to have one of those on your team, especially when you don't have a Blood Chalice, which probably is still a mistake. Soul Reaper kind of runs up a little bit too far there, not really sure quite what he's doing. Do actually hit a Cursed Ground for once, on a moving target. I'm going to applaud myself quietly now. Golf clap. Yeah, so I'm low HP here. I'm just going to back off. My team's just kind of being aggressive. This is actually something you really shouldn't do. I mean, we're only up by 5 kills. We have taken a base tower, and we do still have the token. So we're probably in a pretty significant lead here. But still, there's no reason to, be diving into fountains or past throne towers this soon. This isn't a 1400 pub stomp. This is like a relatively real game with pretty skilled play on both sides, with, a few exceptions. So anyway, as you can see, I actually told Kronos to go farm their Ancients. In a situation like that where we've pushed the middle up and we know they can't see us at the Ancients, there's no reason not to take their Ancients real quick before coming back into farming our jungle, because, it's just reducing more stuff that they can have, taking their farm. The exact same reason that putting up aggressive wards in their jungle would be good for getting more farm. Farming their Ancients, obviously, after a push is always a good move if you have someone that can do it. We see Devourers in here with Tempest. Tempest actually blinks in the Devour, which I don't necessarily think is the best move ever. It's not like his VKB is going to save him from Devourer ulting him, which is exactly what happens. Fortunately, I am here in time. Tempest keeps running away from me, so it's kind of hard for me to throw out the heal. And then I assumed he was turned right, so I'm going to try to Tablet command him away, and then obviously he throws down his ultimate on both of them, so naturally I throw down my ultimate, Kronos blinks in, and we get the kill. We still have token on Kronos, so we do kind of want to go push a lane here. Just, you have a token. If you have the token in the lead, you should definitely be pushing. There's no reason not to be. So we're just going to head bottom. Pink's already down there. Obviously, Tempest doesn't have his ult now, which is kind of unfortunate, but we'll probably get over it. I don't know how Kraken's still good. I guess he's level 22, so he just has a long wait to come back to life. But then looks like the Concede's going to come out here, and for good reason. It's probably pretty hard for them to get back into this game. So yeah, that's the game. So unfortunately, there weren't a ton of instances of interesting things going on in that game. I mean, usually pretty much most of the fights in this game were team fights, not a lot of ganking or anything. And team fights basically just entail a pretty natural order. I mean, if I'm near a hero first who's at lower HP or getting attacked, then I should heal first and then throw out cast. But pretty much general rule of thumb is that I'm always just throwing out the cast first to get those bounces going around, then throwing out the heal. And if one of my teammates sets up good ult or they're kind of in a position where an ult's good, then I can throw down my ult. And pretty much just forgetting that I have first ground, which was sort of a mistake, something I should definitely work on. But what can you do? So good play all around, I think. Pretty fun game to play in. It's always nice when you have like one of those pretty good games that ends in a win. Usually nothing to complain about. Obviously the Tempest was a little extreme. He's got an axe to the Malphite now, so I think he's working on a heart. Who knows? Anyway, yeah. That's pretty much it. Oh, well, another good thing you can see, our Kraken actually picked up a Nullstone, which is just a great choice against a team with Devour. It's what I was actually suggesting. Oh,